Have you ever looked at a brilliant product, maybe a captivating brand, or even just a truly memorable experience and wondered, how did that actually come to life?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to think it was just a flash of genius, right? A sudden bolt of inspiration.
Yeah, seems that way sometime.
But the truth is, behind pretty much every great design, there's often a structured, um, iterative journey. It's a systematic approach that builds, refines, and, yeah, sometimes completely rethinks things.
And that's precisely what we're here to unpack today. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take a stack of your sources, articles, research, our notes, and we basically extract the most important nuggets of knowledge or insight.
Giving you a shortcut to being well-informed.
Exactly.
Our mission for you today is to dive deep into the fascinating world of design thinking. We're drawing from this incredibly insightful source that really illuminates the core processes, the methods, the principles designers use every single day to solve problems and create truly impactful solutions.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
We're going to pull back the curtain on how creative solutions are approached, how they're meticulously researched and then refined, giving you a real behind-the-scenes look at where great designs genuinely begin.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, is how our source material takes what often feels like this mysterious, almost magical creative process and breaks it down into understandable, actionable stages. It makes it so clear that design isn't just about making things look pretty. It's both an art and a science.
Serving powerful, creative, and crucially economic goals, too.
Exactly. Those economic goals are key.
Okay, let's unpack this then. This deep dive is going to fundamentally challenge how you think about design, revealing it as this dynamic problem-solving adventure. We'll explore design not just as like an aesthetic pursuit, but as a systematic process, a deliberate way of thinking that transforms a client's initial idea or brief into a finished, compelling product.
Yeah, that journey.
We'll trace that journey from the very first spark of understanding a problem, all the way through to delivering a solution, examining the tools and mindsets designers employ at each and every step. #, understanding the design process.
And this adventure, it really begins with a foundational understanding. You cannot hold a design in your hand. It's not a tangible object.
Right.
Our source quotes the renowned graphic designer Bob Gill, who just perfectly encapsulated this. He said, "You cannot hold a design in your hand. It is not a thing. It is a process, a system, a way of thinking."
That's such a crucial distinction, isn't it? It means that what we see as the final polished design is just the visible tip of a much larger, often iterative process happening beneath the surface.
The iceberg analogy.
Totally. And because it's a process, it's dynamic. Different approaches can yield wildly different solutions for the exact same brief, varying in their creativity, their practicality, and, well, of course, their budget.
Indeed. And the book we're diving into, it aims to present a comprehensive overview of this design thinking. It details the methods designers use at each stage to generate and refine creative ideas.
Okay.
It covers the key considerations that shape these ideas and the crucial role of feedback, which is huge in allowing design teams to learn from every single project.
So it gets better each time.
Ensuring continuous improvement for future commissions? Absolutely. This structured approach is what truly channels pure creativity towards viable, practical solutions that consistently meet and often exceed the stated aims of the brief. It successfully balances both those creative and economic goals.
So if design is fundamentally a process, how does it actually unfold? Our source outlines 7 distinct stages. Now, while they often appear linear on paper...
Yeah, you see the neat list.
Exactly. In reality, designers frequently find themselves kind of spiraling back, revisiting earlier segments for reworking as a project evolves. Less like a straight line and more like a dance between progression and refinement.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. These 7 stages provide a roadmap. Define, research, ideate, prototype, select, implement, and learn. Each stage has its own unique focus, its own challenges, and opportunities for applying specific design thinking. #, the 7 stages of design thinking.
Let's begin right at the start then, with stage 1, define. This is all about establishing what the problem truly is. Because, without a clear problem, you can't really have a clear solution, can you?
Absolutely foundational. This stage typically involves either generating or receiving a design brief. And let me tell you, these briefs can be incredibly varied. Sometimes it's a quick verbal request, other times it's a dense, multi-page document.
Wow. Yeah.
The real challenge, though, often lies in their inherent vagueness. A client might walk in and say, we need a brochure that makes us look cool and stylish.
Right, the classic vague request.
Exactly. And the designer's critical job then becomes interpreting what cool and stylish actually mean to that specific client and, even more importantly, to their target audience.
Getting on the same page.
Precisely. This interpretation ensures shared expectations and avoids costly misunderstandings down the line. Sometimes it even means questioning the validity of the brief itself. Asking, is a brochure really the most effective way to reach, say, 20, 30-year-olds?
Or should it be something digital?
Maybe an online campaign might be a better strategic fit. You have to ask those tough questions.
And to cut through that vagueness and really get to the heart of the challenge, designers often turn to that classic investigative tool, the 5 W's plus how.
The old faithfuls.
Right. That means asking, who is the client and, crucially, the target audience? What specific design solution is the client thinking of or expecting? When will the design be needed? And what are the long-term timescales? Where will the design be used or distributed? And why? This is a big one. Why does the client believe a design solution is even required in the first place?
And don't forget how. How will the solution actually be implemented? Taking into account budget, distribution channels, all those practicalities.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts.
Asking these probing questions provides the design team with vital detail. It helps them identify key constraints and, most importantly, establish the general proposition of a design.
The core message.
Essentially, yeah, the core ideas and values it intends to present. It also helps define the USP, the unique selling point, ensuring a highly targeted delivery of the message.
Gotcha.
Our source gives a really compelling example with the Continental Gold and Emotica project. Emotica was tasked with creating a new corporate identity for a junior mining exploration company in Colombia.
Okay, specific.
Very. By meticulously defining the brief with the 5 W's and identifying these identity keys like gold, Colombia, and adjectives such as unique and exciting, they were able to precisely differentiate this company for potential investors in what's a very crowded market.
So that definition was key to standing out.
Absolutely. The insight here is that the define stage isn't just about gathering facts, it's about uncovering the true purpose and potential of the design.
Once that problem is crystal clear, precisely defined, we shift gears into stage 2, research. This is all about collecting background information to truly inform and hopefully inspire the creative process.
This stage is absolutely vital for accumulating all the relevant information, and research can be broadly categorized into quantitative and qualitative data.
Okay, the two types.
Quantitative information gives us those hard numbers. Think total market sales, annual sales volume, or the demographic breakdown of consumers in a specific age group. Numbers you can count.
Right.
Qualitative information, on the other hand, helps the design team understand why those numbers exist. It's about diving into consumer motivations, lifestyles, preferences, usually through methods like in-depth interviews or focus groups.
Studying the human story behind the data.
Exactly. The ultimate goal is to build a robust, empathetic mental model of a typical user.
And research isn't just about what's happening right now, is it? Designers also engage in both primary and secondary research.
Correct. Primary research involves gathering direct feedback, maybe from past projects, or direct engagement with the target audience. It offers immediate insights into what resonated or didn't resonate with similar groups.
Learning from experience.
Secondary research, in contrast, comes from existing published information, things like consumer market research reports, trade periodicals, specialized blogs, or even university papers. It provides a broader view of market structure, emerging trends, demographics, the bigger picture.
Got it. So direct feedback and wider context.
And a critical part of this research phase is actively identifying drivers and barriers.
Drivers and barriers.
Drivers are those stimuli that truly resonate with the target group, things like current market forces, evolving fashions, or even popular cultural trends, things pushing things forward.
What makes them tick?
Yeah. Barriers, conversely, are the obstacles that could impede success. Think legal restrictions, technical standards, or maybe the established power of competitors, things standing in the way.
Makes sense.
What's particularly insightful, though, is the idea that a driver, if you overlook it or ignore it, can quickly transform into a barrier.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, for example, trying to launch a new print newspaper when the entire market is clearly migrating online, that would be a significant barrier to success, right? And it stems from ignoring a powerful digital driver, the shift online.
Okay. So you have to pay attention to the trends, the drivers.
You ignore them at your peril.
So a huge part of this stage, then, is building incredibly detailed character profiles.
Yes, crucial.
This goes beyond basic demographics like sex, age, income. It delves into qualitative factors, motivations, aspirations, pain points, daily habits, all to create this deeply empathetic mental model of a typical user.
Like a persona.
Exactly. These profiles are often a mix of written narrative and graphic information, sometimes even incorporating magazine cuttings or fictional life details to really bring these users to life and guide design decisions throughout the project.
It ensures the design is for a person, not just a statistic. It makes it real.
And to validate these profiles and the initial ideas, designers rely heavily on samples and feedback, right?
Oh, heavily. This typically involves working with small sample groups, usually, 5 to 10 people, for interviews, questionnaires, or focus discussions.
Getting real reactions.
And feedback is inherently an iterative process. Key learning is sought not just at the end of a project, but throughout, constantly, to maintain or improve performance. Methods like cluster and vote or scoring methods are often used to help objectively select the strongest ideas.
Okay.
We see this in action with the BOAI DVD design, where direct user feedback identified critical product usage patterns during the research phase. Or how the What to Do logo by Fade Herpety Bringer directly acknowledged client barriers within its actual design, showing how research shaped the solution itself.
Wow.
The instead graphic identity, which used that leaf metaphor for global information gathering, also stemmed from thorough research into their mission and reach. The insight is that research isn't a one-time event. It's this continuous conversation with your audience and the market.
That deep understanding of the problem and the audience then naturally leads us to stage 3, ideate. This is where the creativity is truly unleashed to generate a wide array of potential solutions.
Yeah, this is often the most exhilarating part for designers, where they leverage all the insights from the research and the constraints from the brief to spark initial concepts. Ideation isn't a single method. It's more like a dynamic toolkit.
What's in the toolkit?
Well, it includes rapid brainstorming sessions, quick sketching to visualize initial thoughts, adapting and reinterpreting existing designs sometimes, and employing analytical approaches like top-down thinking, focusing on the product or company first, versus bottom-up thinking, which prioritizes the customer or user experience.
Different ways to attack the problem.
Exactly. Designers can also filter and interpret a brief through the lens of various art and design movements. Modernist, abstract, constructivist, even deconstructivist paradigms can all offer unique frameworks for generating fresh ideas. But our source emphasizes a crucial point here. This stage often reveals misunderstandings from the define stage or uncovers shortcomings in the initial research.
Ah, so it's a check.
It prompts necessary clarification. It's a dynamic feedback loop within the process itself, ensuring that early missteps don't become big problems later on.
Good point.
You can see this creative exploration vividly in Research Studios' work for the Barbican Art Gallery. They experimented with countless typefaces for an Anish Kapoor show, essentially visually brainstorming different typographic interpretations.
Just trying things out.
Yeah. Or Frost Design's Tourism NT microsite, which was directly inspired by the film Australia as a creative springboard for destination promotion. Sometimes ideation calls for a truly divergent approach, like Navy Blues packaging for Ian MacLeod Distiller's Smokehead whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
They deliberately broke from traditional, heritage-based designs to create something young, energetic, distinct. In contrast, you can also have convergent approaches, like in the MTV MySpace pages by Us Lot Everywhere, where standard layouts provided broad compatibility, but still allowed for creative flourishes.
So different levels of breaking the mold.
Precisely. The key insight here is that ideation isn't about finding the right answer immediately. It's about exploring all the possible answers, even the really wild ones.
Once those promising ideas start to emerge from ideation, they move into stage 4, prototype, where solutions are resolved, tested, and given some kind of tangible form.
This stage is fundamentally about working up those promising solutions to test their technical feasibility or visual aspects. It provides a much better basis for a comparison before the final selection, allowing designers to literally see and sometimes feel their ideas.
Making it real.
Yeah. Prototypes can be used for physical objects like novel packaging, to test visual presentations, or to evaluate a design's three-dimensional presence in a space.
And the interesting thing is, prototypes don't always need to be crafted with the final expensive materials, right?
That's right. An architectural model, for instance, might be made from simple whiteboard or cardboard just to visualize the building design. However, If a specific print finish or material quality is absolutely crucial to the final concept, then yes, it's essential to present that via a prototype that accurately reflects it. It's about testing the core idea, maybe the mechanism, or the visual hierarchy, not necessarily the final production materials in every case.
Gotcha. Test what needs testing.
Exactly. This is clearly evident in Federbed of Ringer's installation for Henk Hubenet, which used detailed images as a visual model long before actual construction began. Or Studio AS's visual identity development for the Tsunami restaurant, where iterative changes and refinements were clearly shown through various visual prototypes.
Seen the evolution.
Innovative Design Limited's Tax CH jewelry even progressed from rough concept sketches all the way to realistic, almost photographic visualizations during this meticulous prototyping stage. It demonstrates how designers use different levels of fidelity to test and refine.
Right, from napkin sketch to almost real.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
The insight. Prototyping is about making the abstract concrete, allowing for tangible feedback and refinement before you commit fully.
After resolving and testing, we arrive at stage 5, select. This sounds like the pivotal point, making those concrete choices.
It really is. This is where the single best proposed design solution is chosen for further development. And the key criteria for selection are pretty rigorous.
Like what?
Does the design exhibit a clear fitness for purpose? Meaning, does it demonstrably meet the brief's needs and goals? Does it genuinely resonate with the target audience? And of course, practical considerations like budget and available time are always paramount.
The reality check.
Always. It's important to acknowledge that sometimes meeting all requirements perfectly in a single design simply isn't feasible, especially with complex market segmentation that might logically call for different solutions for different audience segments.
So maybe not one size fits all.
Often not. While designers can, and often do, passionately recommend their preferred candidate.
I bet they do.
Oh, yeah. Ultimately, the client makes the final choice and signs off on it. They are the ultimate arbiter because they know their business, their market, their customers best.
Makes sense.
Our source highlights the team's progress board for the King's Fund, where different design elements like typefaces, colors, positional layouts were meticulously presented for the client to select from. It makes the decision process transparent and collaborative.
So everyone's involved in the choice.
Ideally, yes. The insight selection is less about a single right answer and more about finding the optimal solution that balances the creative vision, the audience needs, and those practical constraints.
Okay, once that critical selection is made, we transition to stage 6, implement. This is the physical realization, the production of the chosen design.
This is where the design job is actually brought to life, where ideas become reality, designers pass their finalized artwork and detailed specifications to specialized production professionals, think printers, expert web builders, skilled fabricators.
That's people who actually make the thing.
Exactly. And clear, unambiguous communication of the underlying design thinking is absolutely paramount here. You need to ensure the final product precisely matches the vision and expectations.
Lost in translation is bad here.
Very bad. Precisely. Designers typically manage this stage very closely to ensure the results meet both the design expectations and the practical constraints of budget and timeline. Proofing is incredibly critical here.
Checking everything.
Meticulously. For print, it's about accuracy, color, alignment, everything. For websites, it's about flawless functionality and user experience. This stage culminates in the final delivery of the finished job to the client.
The handover.
The Delafield Hotel brochure by Z2 Marketing is a perfect illustration, bringing together photography, typography, copywriting, design, and print into a cohesive, tangible product. Unthink's Habitat Dublin brochure, promoting a custom design service, even encapsulated the bespoke idea by literally using handwritten elements on the cover during implementation.
Oh, cool. Making the process part of the message.
Exactly. The insight. Implementation is where the strategic thinking truly hits the real world and becomes something tangible.
Finally, we arrive at stage 7, learn. This is all about obtaining feedback and reflecting critically on the entire process. Seems crucial, but maybe sometimes overlooked.
It can be, but it's so important. This stage involves meticulously identifying what worked exceptionally well and, just as importantly, where there's clear room for improvement. Designers actively gather feedback from both the client and, crucially, the target audience, assessing how the product was received and its overall effectiveness in achieving its goals.
So did it work?
Pretty much, yeah. This feedback loop is incredibly valuable. It transforms into a vital learning opportunity for future projects, literally feeding directly back into the define and research stages of the next design cycle.
Closing the loop.
It actively helps build a deeper, more shared understanding between designers and clients over time, fostering stronger partnerships. And while learn appears as the last stage on the list, our source powerfully emphasizes that learning actually occurs throughout the entire process.
Not just tacked on at the end.
Not at all. It continuously enhances the development of design thinking. For instance, Frost Design's redesign of the Australian Directors Guild logo was directly informed and shaped by specific client feedback on their previous logo. That shows this continuous iteration in action.
Yeah.
The insight. Every design is a living experiment, and the learning never truly stops. You're always refining your process.
To really understand how these 7 stages beautifully coalesce in practice, our source provides a fantastic example project, Sovereign by the team. This sounded like a particularly challenging brief.
Oh, it was. Creating a new visual identity for a large parent housing association, Sovereign, which needed to umbrella various acquired identities while maintaining a unique core idea. Complex stuff.
So in stage 1, define. The team faced this complex task of developing a unique core idea that could unify all these disparate business aspects under one cohesive umbrella, plus clear descriptions for its various sub-brands. They needed to articulate a clear purpose for the overarching brand.
Then for stage 2, research, they conducted a really deep dive. This included extensive interviews with stakeholders, collaborative workshops to gather internal perspectives, and thorough competitor audits to understand the market landscape.
Covering all bases.
They specifically looked for imagery that conveyed continuity and growth, exploring concepts like circles or endless loops. A key finding was the critical importance of balancing the needs of both current and future customers.
Okay, balancing act.
Then, in stage 3, ideate. Initial ideas naturally focused on that concept of planning for today and tomorrow. They aimed for an abstract shape that could work seamlessly for both the main group logo and its individual sub-brands. Their sketches explored intricate, multi-part shapes designed to reflect the diversity of the business operations.
Try to capture that complexity visually.
Exactly. This creative explosion then led to stage 4, select, where 3 distinct ideas were advanced for meticulous client consideration.
The final 3.
Yep. A dynamic, sculptural Mobius strip symbolizing endlessness and flow, a constantly moving yin-yang evolution representing balance and change, and 2 interdependent shapes signifying continuity and strength. These concepts were presented on large display boards, fostering a detailed discussion with the client.
Making it tangible for them.
The chosen design, the elegant Mobius strip, was then meticulously refined in stage 5, prototype. It was given translucent shading and an energetic orange color, perfectly complemented by a simple, professional, lowercase logo type. This never-ending shape beautifully reflected that balance between current and future customer needs, a key insight from their research.
So the research paid off in the final form.
Big time. For stage 6, implement, the final design was systematically rolled out across every touchpoint imaginable. All printed materials, the fleet of vehicle liveries, staff clothing, prominent signage at corporate offices, and even at their numerous building sites.
Everywhere.
Ensuring a consistent and strong brand presence. And finally, in stage 7, feedback was gathered not just at the end, but throughout the selection process and extensively after implementation. This ongoing dialogue helped the design team understand what truly resonated with both the client and their customers, continuously informing future projects and fostering that invaluable shared understanding.
It's a truly complete cycle of problem solving, isn't it? Showing how the process guides creativity to real-world success.
It really is a perfect illustration of the whole thing in action. #tag core design values and visualizing ideas.
Okay, so with the design process firmly laid out, let's pivot a bit to some of the core design values and how designers actually visualize their ideas. First up, and this sounds critically important, is value. More than just aesthetics.
Yeah, our source powerfully stresses that the true value of a design isn't simply about it looking different or, aesthetically pleasing. It's about the tangible contribution it makes for the client and how profoundly positively it resonates with the target audience.
So does it actually do something?
Exactly. This contribution can be direct, like a measurable boost in sales, or more indirect, such as significantly increasing brand prestige or public perception. Of course, measuring direct causation can be tricky. There are always so many other variables at play in the market.
Hard to isolate the design's impact sometimes.
Very. But William Neal and Stefan Bathe offer an insightful framework with their value equation. Total brand value equals tangible features plus brand equity plus price. What's fascinating is how designers add value by creating significance, meaning genuine relevance and resonance for the audience, and prestige, which implies high standing or widespread respect.
Okay, significance and prestige.
Think about the catalog for the ultra-exclusive Bugatti Veyron designed by Research Studios. It's top-quality materials, glossy art paper, commissioned photography, exquisitely sewn leather weren't just for show.
Right, they felt expensive.
They directly mirrored the product's immense value and exclusivity, elevating its prestige to an almost tactile level. It screamed luxury.
And similarly, Webb's Queen Anne Press Ian Fleming series, with its luxurious leather jackets and intricate hand-cut illustrations. That sounds amazing.
It transformed what were already fine books into highly coveted collector's items. This meticulous attention to detail and material choice significantly increased their collectability and perceived value, reportedly fetching over £14,000 for a set.
Wow. Okay, so design adds real monetary value, too.
Absolutely. The insight here is that great design imbues products with meaning and desire that transcends mere functionality.
Next, let's explore inclusion, engaging your audience.
This core concept is all about actively remembering the target audience throughout every single step of the process. It means soliciting their opinions, integrating their perspectives, and consciously creating deep emotional connections with them.
Bringing them into the process.
In a way, yes. The benefits are clear. It ensures ideas genuinely resonate, significantly aids in the design's ultimate acceptance, and critically reduces those arrogance errors where designers might mistakenly assume they know best without checking.
Well, you got to check your ego.
Totally. A fantastic example is Gavin Ambrose's work for Somerset House's Learning Center books. They deliberately included children's workshop drawings juxtaposed with professional artworks.
Oh, that's nice.
It not only broadened the appeal, but also fostered a powerful sense of ownership and engagement among the young audience. They saw themselves in the final product.
Now, onto a fundamental, often overlooked, but incredibly powerful tool, sketching, the designer's quick draw tool.
Yes. Sketching is about rapidly outlining visual ideas for design elements or overall concepts. It's incredibly versatile and adaptable. It's used from the very defined stage, like maybe a client sketches an initial idea or in research for developing character profiles.
Yeah.
It's crucial during ideation for generating rapid solutions and even in prototyping to create detailed bases for refinement. The methodology is beautifully simple. Whatever is quickest and most efficient, whether that's a traditional pencil and paper or modern digital tablets, doesn't matter.
Whatever gets the idea down.
Exactly. It's often categorized into macro versus micro sketching. Macro sketching is for capturing initial broad ideas and layouts, like mapping out book pagination or visual flow without getting bogged down in minute details yet.
Big picture first.
Microsketching, conversely, is for refining specific elements, such as the intricate details of a logo or a particular icon. Research Studios' digital sketches for the Bonfire clothing brand powerfully illustrate this fluidity, rapidly generating a diverse range of ideas and styles.
Quick iterations.
And Webb's Flowers book even featured sketch typography directly on the final dust jacket, making the raw, artistic quality of the sketch an integral part of the finished aesthetic. It conveyed a real sense of care and craft.
So the sketch became the final art. Cool.
Yeah. The insight. Sketching isn't just a preliminary step. It's a dynamic language of quick thought and iterative exploration.
Finally, we have the critical skill of presenting ideas. The art of persuasion.
Ah, yes, the pitch.
This is a truly crucial stage because even the most brilliant idea can fall flat if it isn't communicated effectively, right?
Oh, absolutely. Ideas must be presented in a way that allows the client to fully grasp the underlying thought process and the intended messages.
What are the best practices?
Well, present all proposed solutions consistently to avoid any unconscious bias. Include all pertinent information, like the final production scale. Meticulously practice the presentation beforehand. Ensure all visuals are high quality and professionally mounted, maybe on boards. And of course, double check, triple check for any errors.
Polish is important.
Very. Moving Brands rebranding for Norton & Sons, the venerable Savile Row tailor, is a prime example of impactful presentation. Their pitch was meticulously built around the concept of the Englishman at large and a detailed typical customer profile.
Telling a story.
Exactly. This narrative approach, showing how the elements would appeal to a dynamic, younger market while still respecting tradition, was absolutely key to securing client buy-in. It's about persuasion through clarity, vision, and a deep understanding of the client's world.
Makes sense.
The insight. A brilliant idea is only as good as its presentation. You're selling a vision, not just a design. ### refinement and creative thinking tools.
That brings us to the fascinating and intricate area of refinement in creative thinking tools. This sounds like where designs really achieve their depth and impact, where they're polished to perfection.
Exactly. And at its very heart is refinement, the path to perfection. This involves continuously making small yet significant changes to enhance the design idea and its communicative effectiveness. It's an inherently iterative process.
Tinkering.
Lots of tinkering. Designers tirelessly test various typographic choices, manipulate images, resizing, recoloring, repositioning, modifying, until the desired tone, emphasis, and emotional impact are precisely achieved. This often requires many, many iterations until that perfect balance is struck.
Not getting it right the first time, necessarily.
Rarely. Our source beautifully articulates that while these aspects are usually addressed in a holistic manner, refinement often involves separately considering the distinct components: images, words, shapes, proportion, and color.
Breaking it down.
Studio Output's BBC One Extra digital radio station campaign is a fantastic illustration of this iterative process. It showed considerable refinement in art direction, color palettes, lighting, and type style, all carefully tweaked to achieve broad, impactful audience appeal.
Okay.
The insight. Perfection in design is rarely a flash of genius. It's the result of relentless, iterative refinement.
Next, let's explore thinking in images. A picture paints 1,000 words. Obviously, images are powerful, but their meaning is influenced by culture and interpretation, right?
Profoundly influenced. Factors influencing meaning include cultural groups, the deliberate inclusion or exclusion of certain symbols, the use of humor, the appropriation of historical or iconic meaning, and even the rendering style itself. A raw black and white sketch evokes a vastly different feeling from a slick, glossy print.
True.
Our source delves into semiotics, basically, how people extract meaning from words, sounds, and pictures through the interplay of the sign, the system it belongs to, and its context.
The science of signs.
Kind of, yeah. Denotation refers to the literal primary meaning of an image, like a photograph of a house is literally a house. But cognition is the understanding or interpretation based on our perception, learning, and reasoning, which is profoundly influenced by the context, color, and juxtaposition of elements.
So what it really means to us.
Exactly. The real insight here is that every visual choice, from a specific typeface to a subtle color shift, carries layers of implied meaning far beyond its literal appearance. Designers then become orchestrators of subconscious perception, subtly shaping how you feel about a brand, not just what you see.
That's powerful.
It is. Social design's work for the Trafalgar Hotel, for instance, subtly use patterns of service icons. A simple glass for drinks, a whisk for food, to soften the dining experience and add visual interest, conveying warmth through imagery.
Clever.
Similarly, 3 Deep Design's volume book for Thames and Hudson, styled like a sketchbook, immediately conveyed the essence of creativity and progress through its visual approach, even before you read a single word.
Setting the tone visually. And building on the power of images, we have thinking in signs. Simple messages, complex meanings. Signs seem like incredibly powerful, easily recognized communication devices.
They convey complex concepts with stunning simplicity. Charles Sanders Peirce, a brilliant philosopher, categorized signs into 3 insightful types.
Okay, what are they?
An icon, which is a graphic element that directly represents an object like a photograph or a simplified diagrammatic illustration, like a little picture of a phone.
Got it.
An index has a direct causal link between the sign and the object it represents. Think traffic signs indicating specific road conditions, like a slippery road sign.
The sign points to the thing.
Exactly. And a symbol is a pictorial element that communicates a concept or idea without any logical or direct link. It relies instead on shared cultural understanding, like letters representing sounds or flags representing countries.
Like the Nike swoosh or something.
Perfect example. Using symbols effectively requires a deep understanding of shared cultural norms. While universal symbols are broadly recognizable, they may not always create unique identities for a brand.
Right. Everyone knows what a heart means.
Mm-hmm. Signs are commonly applied in logos, the graphic symbols that encapsulate a company's character. Logotypes, styled characters that identify an organization. Brands, the overarching symbols, marks, or words that differentiate a product and convey its quality, value, and personality. And identities, the behavioral characteristics of a company, expressed cohesively through branding.
Lots of related terms there.
They overlap but have distinct nuances. The insight here is that signs are the shorthand of communication. Mastering them allows designers to speak volumes in just a glance.
Any examples?
Richard Wilkinson's Telegraph magazine cover cleverly used a funfair shooting gallery motif combined with a target symbol to highlight endangered species. It powerfully communicated its urgent message through symbolic imagery.
Ah, visual metaphor again.
And Moving Brands' event invitation for the Rootstein Hopkins Foundation used interacting circle shapes representing coinage to symbolize the strengthening of visual arts through financial donations. It shows how even abstract concepts can be conveyed through simple, evocative signs.
Next, we delve into appropriation. Borrowing to create new meaning. This is about incorporating elements, often directly from other existing works, right?
Yeah.
Leveraging viewer recognition.
Exactly. Leveraging that recognition to communicate effectively and resonate instantly. Key forms of appropriation include imitation, which is copying or reproducing an existing design for a new use, often a clever shortcut.
Okay.
Adaptation involves modifying an original design for a different purpose or context. Parody mocks an original work through humor or satire, often for social commentary. Paradox involves positioning conflicting ideas to inject humor or force critical questioning. Distortion uses optical deformation to make objects less recognizable or to form entirely new visual compositions. And homage is a way of expressing honor or deep respect for a work, an artist, or an entire genre.
So lots of ways to borrow.
The insight. Great designers aren't just creators, they're also master curators, recontextualizing existing cultural touchstones to forge new meaning.
Examples of this.
Miha Artnek and Ziga Aljaz's Magdalena 2004 anti-war poster powerfully adapted Edvard Munch's The Scream by incorporating an aircraft and bomb. A potent example of adaptation used for impactful social commentary.
Wow, yeah.
MB Studios' Momentum Pictures picture book Christmas card imitated classic hand shadows, using visual paradox for a touch of clever humor. And Studio Output's Shaw's Café rebranding thoughtfully paid homage to the renowned gastronome Brulat Savarin, deeply tying the brand into a rich culinary history.
Building on the idea of shared recognition, let's talk about humor, connecting through laughter. Using amusing designs to establish a relationship.
Yeah, an immediate positive relationship with the target audience by tapping into shared social and cultural reference points. Humor can be incredibly effective at diffusing serious subject matter or simply making a brand more approachable.
But tricky, right? Humor is subjective.
Oh, very. The challenge, of course, is that humor varies widely across different cultural groups and demographics. What one person finds funny,
another finds offensive.
Exactly. Futro's advertising campaign for Rugal Opticians, which used exaggerated misjudgment in sports scenarios to create a humorous link to vision correction, perfectly illustrates how a well-placed joke can resonate with an audience. The insight. Laughter is a universal connector, and design can harness it to build memorable bonds when done carefully.
Then there's personification, bringing concepts to life.
Yeah.
Representing abstract aims as a recognizable graphic device.
Yes. Fostering an immediate emotional identification with the brand. For personification to be truly credible and effective, it absolutely needs to resonate authentically with the target audience and be perfectly compatible with the product's inherent attributes.
Believable.
This approach combines top-down thinking, identifying the core characteristics, with bottom-up thinking, generating visual ideas that genuinely appeal to the audience. Pentagram's Heels packaging range, for instance, used a monotone, imageless design with clever typograms. Typography that subtly forms graphic elements like a glass stem or a fork handle made from letters. It personified a simple, clean style with a touch of understated humor.
Ah, clever. The insight. Abstract ideas become relatable when they're given a face, or in design, a graphic personality.
Similarly, visual metaphors. Implying similarity through imagery refers to something not literally denoted, but used to imply a similarity to something else, often through context and shared cultural knowledge.
Like the circles example earlier.
Exactly. Gavin Ambrose and Urbic's Medway Renaissance 5 Towns Make a City project brilliantly used overlapping circles in its logo as a compelling visual metaphor for unifying 5 distinct towns into a single cohesive urban unit.
Simple and clear.
And the accompanying book covers, featuring portraits of people from each community, also served as powerful visual metaphors for the diversity and unity of the project. The insight. Metaphors simplify complex ideas, allowing the audience to grasp nuanced relationships instantly.
Next up, modification. Infusing meaning. Transforming text and images to instill them with new meaning, telling a story in a frozen graphic instant. How does that work?
This can be achieved through various powerful techniques. Intervention changes the meaning, stress, or focus by subtly altering an image. Omission, where something is deliberately left out to channel focus or draw attention to context.
Less is more.
Sometimes. Opposition, positioning conflicting ideas to create antagonistic relationships like a devil juxtaposed with an angel.
Yeah.
And two-in-ones, clever graphic devices that communicate two distinct messages simultaneously through subtle variations of recognizable objects.
Like those optical illusions.
Sort of, yeah.
Huh.
The insight. Even the smallest tweak can dramatically alter a message, turning observation into profound communication.
Examples.
Social UK's business card for the human music sound design firm used modified typography, subtly incorporating a sperm-like shape within the letter A to imply a distinct human, almost organic approach to sound. Futro's Works office space design advertisements used the omission of furniture to powerfully highlight its importance, emphasizing the void. Mark Studio's 90 hairdressing design cleverly used the eye rings of scissors to form the number 90, a perfect example of a witty two-in-one.
Ah, I see it now.
Even Miha Artneck's Tanks a Lot poster, with its understated Iraq flag colors bleeding onto the page, provided a powerful yet subtle commentary on destruction through strategic modification. #tag thinking in words and typography.
Moving on to the literal building blocks of communication, we have thinking in words and typography, the power of text. Words function as both linguistic and visual design elements, and crucially, each typeface carries a distinct personality. That's interesting.
Hugely important. Some
Yeah.
words, by their very nature, are inherently more interesting visually or semantically, and the personality of a typeface can instantly imply classical elegance, futuristic innovation, sophisticated charm, or even a gritty, streetwise attitude. It directly influences how information is perceived and transferred.
Fonts have feelings.
They absolutely do. Clarity and legibility are, of course, paramount for effective text communication. But designers also work tirelessly to find a distinct voice for their messages, expressing them with varying tones, be it one of authority, optimism, or playfulness, to authentically relate to the target group, often carefully choosing synonyms for formal versus relaxed approaches.
Choosing the right words and the right look for them.
Precisely. This also includes the creation of neologisms, inventing new words, and the clever use of ligatures, which are the combination of letters for specific sounds or just to create a unique visual appearance.
Okay.
Our source points out how letter forms themselves create visual patterns, a sort of topography on the page with their ascenders and descenders, and even vocal patterns like replicating phonetic sounds and rhythms. Graphically, think onomatopoeia like boom, written out, can be powerfully integrated.
Making text sound like speech.
Yeah. And of course, puns, clever jokes that exploit different meanings of words or images are a classic tool, but they require that shared cultural knowledge to land effectively.
Gotta know your audience.
Always the insight. Words aren't just carriers of meaning. They are meaning shaped and amplified by their visual form.
Got any examples of this wordplay?
Sure. Urbic's brand identity created a clever neologism with a ligature to successfully suggest a futuristic and innovative personality for the brand. Cartwright Pickard Architects, working with Gavin Ambrose and Urbic, used single, impactful words on their brochures, transitioning from master planning to place to subtly reflect their human-centered architectural aim.
Simple but effective.
Studio AS and Gavin Ambrose's Betster brand name was a fabricated word but with a familiar suffix, making it sound instantly recognizable yet unique.
And puns.
Studio Output's Salomon bicycle manufacturer campaign brilliantly used the clever word pun mud, sweat, and gear, a playful twist on blood, sweat, and tears, to create an immediate and memorable link with the rugged world of mountain biking.
Ah, nice one.
Social Design's Elk and Wolf wine bottle label used text, imagery, and color in perfect synergy to convey a sense of style and coolness, with the brand text and image reflecting each other's essence. And Marks Oliver Spencer Stationery even added geographic coordinates as an eccentric element, playfully referencing the designer's eclectic and worldly collections.
The little details.
Even Unthink's poster for the Powersport Center, which set the organization's name in a display type wrapped like festive presents, perfectly encapsulated a celebratory feel, powerfully demonstrating the visual impact of words as design elements. #tag thinking visual elements.
Now let's zoom out to thinking in visual elements, shaping the design. This involves meticulously considering the spatial relationships between design elements and how they fill a page or screen to create vastly different effects and moods. Layout, essentially.
Layout, composition, yeah. Our source brings in the intriguing theory of Wassily Kandinsky from 1923, who proposed a universal, almost innate relationship between basic shapes and primary colors.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, he suggested that a yellow triangle inherently feels active and dynamic, while a blue circle evokes a sense of coldness and passivity. Whether you buy into it fully or not, it highlights how shapes and colors have associations.
Interesting.
Designers constantly strive for harmony and balance. Harmony is about achieving agreement in feeling, where all elements support each other to create a coherent and aesthetically pleasing visual statement. Think complementary typography, sympathetic color schemes, impactful images working together.
When it just feels right.
Exactly. It's often so well done that you almost don't notice it consciously. Balance, on the other hand, is about achieving equilibrium, where no single part has disproportionately greater visual weight. It produces a soothing, peaceful, or dynamic result through the considered positioning of text, images, and, crucially, white space.
Okay. Balance can be symmetrical.
It can be symmetrical, offering a formal sense of order, or asymmetrical, which often feels more dynamic and energetic. Shape alliteration, where similar shapes are subtly grouped together, can also help unify and balance a page. And dynamic or angular shapes, like triangles, can inject immediate drama.
So shapes have energy too.
Definitely. The team's rebrand for Gas-Safe Register strikingly used an active yellow triangle, perfectly aligning with Kandinsky's theory for high visibility and an authoritative presence. 3 Deep Design's promotional items for the Australian Ballet used a beautiful, proportional interplay of shapes to achieve a sense of spacious, elegant balance.
Speaking of proportion, this sounds like a cornerstone of compelling visual design. The focal point changes with position and relationships.
Dramatically. The rule of thirds is a widely used compositional guide. You overlay a 3x3 grid onto an image and place key elements along the lines or at their intersections. It produces a dynamic offset balance that's generally more engaging than simply centering everything.
I've heard of that one.
The rule of odds, another compositional gem, suggests placing a subject within an even number of surrounding objects for a sense of balanced focus and stability.
Okay.
And then there are deeply rooted historical and mathematical principles. The golden section, an approximate 8.13 ratio, or 1 to 1.618.
The golden ratio.
Exactly. Revered by ancient cultures for representing infallibly beautiful proportions. It's found ubiquitously in nature and is applied as a ruler for creating harmonious, visually pleasing designs.
Wow.
Fibonacci numbers, that numerical series where each number is the sum of the 2 preceding ones, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on, also naturally produce harmonious proportions that designers use for dimensions and layouts. Even lesser-known concepts like Renard numbers, a system of preferred numbers, offer a controlled and systematic approach to space division, ensuring balanced and aesthetically pleasing design.
So there's a lot of math involved, potentially.
There can be, yeah. Think of it like a carefully chosen set of building blocks that designers use to ensure everything from font sizes to spacing feels just right and harmonious.
And finally, a truly powerful communication tool.
Yeah.
Thinking in color. Color grabs attention, enhances attractiveness, adds emphasis. But it's more than that.
Oh, much more. Its impact goes far beyond aesthetics. Colors carry profound cultural meanings that can change dramatically across different societies. For instance, white symbolizes marriage and purity in some Western cultures, while it represents death and mourning in certain Eastern traditions.
Right, you have to be careful.
Understanding these cultural associations is absolutely critical for successful design. The color wheel provides a visual explanation of color theory, helping designers select compatible and impactful schemes, whether they're aiming for a subtle monochrome look, a vibrant complementary contrast, a soothing analogous palette, or a dynamic triad.
Helping choose colors that work together.
Studio Output's Gossard lingerie catalog brilliantly used bold, flat colors to deliberately counter the cliché of soft pinks, effectively shifting brand expectations and giving it a modern, confident feel. And Moving Brands Etot's menswear identity meticulously used complementary and split complementary color selections to create a clean, modern, and sophisticated aesthetic. It showcases the deep strategic consideration behind every color choice.
It's not just picking pretty colors.
Not at all. The insight. Color isn't just decoration. It's a silent language that speaks volumes about culture, emotion, and brand identity. #TAG prototyping and development.
Moving from the theoretical tools to their practical application, we arrive at prototyping and development, where ideas begin to truly take physical form. Feels like we touched on this at stage 4.
We did, but this section maybe dives a bit deeper into the how and why. At its core, prototyping is about working up or rendering initial ideas to rigorously test their functionality in visual communication. It's the stage where designers explore and express their concepts in different design vocabularies, be it modern, historical, or entirely experimental, allowing them to refine and articulate their vision.
Trying different styles.
Exactly. Prototypes can manifest in several key ways. Sketching, as we discussed, is rapid and economical for roughing out basic visual ideas and positional aspects. A model is a three-dimensional replica, often used to test the visual or functional aspects of a physical object, like novel packaging.
Holding it in your hand.
A maquette is a scale replica, typically for architectural designs, providing an overview of the design in relation to its intended setting. And a printer's dummy is a full-scale mock-up, using the specified materials crucial for testing tactile elements like paper quality or binding, feeling the weight, seeing how it folds.
Different tools for different jobs.
Precisely. Scale is integral to all these prototyping methods, whether the representation is reduced, actual size, or enlarged, ensuring a reliable and informative representation of the final product. Studio AS's visual identity development for the Tsunami restaurant clearly shows the iterative prototyping of visual elements, revealing how even small adjustments were tested and refined.
We saw that example.
And Innovar Design Limited's Tatesh jewelry concept sketches dramatically progressed from initial roughs to highly realistic, almost photographic visualizations through this meticulous prototyping process. It illustrates the journey from abstract idea to tangible representation.
Right. The insight. Prototyping is where ideas stop being just thoughts and start becoming real, allowing for critical, hands-on feedback.
This detailed prototyping then feeds directly into developing designs, adding substance and cohesion. This stage is about taking the most promising ideas from ideation and further developing them to ensure message coherence, brand consistency, and effective differentiation in the market.
Making it robust.
Yes, consistency is paramount here, especially for corporate or brand identity. The design must faithfully reflect the stated aims and purpose of the organization. Any incongruity will inevitably cause confusion. A strong design needs what our force calls design legs.
Design legs? What's that?
Meaning it must be inherently adaptable, scalable, and possess a narrative that can be expanded or broadened for future manifestations and diverse uses. It can't be a one-trick pony.
It has to work in different places, different sizes.
Exactly. Pentagram's powerful poster for homeless fundraising, which used a collage of handwritten signs collected during their initial research, demonstrated how that deep research could form the very substance of the design itself, giving it powerful legs and an undeniable authentic voice.
Using the research as the design.
And Ziggurat Brand's Mrs. Massey's food products created a transferable pattern of charming kitchen utensils, providing powerful design legs that could be used consistently across all product packaging and promotional items. This ensured a cohesive, recognizable, and highly adaptable brand identity that felt both unique and comforting.
So the pattern could go anywhere.
Yeah. The insight. A great design isn't a one-off. It's a foundation that can grow and adapt with a brand over time. #tag implementation and production.
Finally, we arrive at implementation and production, the culmination where all the hard work and meticulous planning truly come to fruition. Showtime.
Pretty much. At its heart, implementation is the final stage where the design job is physically realized, completed, and then handed over to the client. It's where abstract design decisions are transformed into tangible realities. Communication is absolutely paramount here.
We talked about that.
Designers must effectively convey their precise design thinking and specifications to a diverse range of production professionals like printers, expert web developers, or skilled fabricators.
Getting it made right.
And it's worth noting that refinement can sometimes continue even during implementation, perhaps due to unexpected budget constraints, changes in timeline, or adjustments to format. Things happen.
Last-minute changes.
Unthink's Habitat Dublin brochure, for instance, perfectly encapsulated the bespoke nature of their custom design service by using actual handwriting on the cover during its implementation, making the production process part of the brand message itself.
Cool detail. The insight. Implementation is the bridge between creative vision and real-world impact.
The first crucial aspect of implementation thinking is format, the canvas of creativity. This involves the careful selection of either standard formats like the familiar ISO paper sizes, or opting for distinctive non-standard or bespoke formats.
Going beyond A4.
Way beyond sometimes. Non-standard formats offer unique opportunities to physically distinguish a design and communicate information in fresh, often unexpected ways. For instance, Huavila's The City paper in Bogota made a bold statement by adopting an innovative European tabloid format. It immediately differentiated it in the local market, despite the inherent production challenges.
Standing out physically.
Daniel Etalk's Part of It tote bag for the Dyslexia Association used a truly unusual format to maximize its social messaging exposure, making it an attention-grabbing piece. Mark Design's Wigan Little Theatre Little Known Facts book even used a notably small format as a witty metaphor for the theater's name, cleverly embedding its identity within its physical form.
The format itself tells a story.
Exactly, the insight. The format isn't just a container, it's part of the message itself.
Then there are materials. Tactile and lasting impressions. This is about thoughtfully considering the myriad of materials and substrates beyond just paper thinking board, ceramic, cloth, metal, even glass.
Absolutely. Anything that can hold printed, stamped, or engraved images. Using alternative or premium materials can add incredibly valuable qualities like memorability or a sense of luxury, often significantly increasing the longevity of the piece.
People keep nice things longer.
Totally. Something produced in acetate metal or wood is far more likely to be kept and cherished than a simple piece of paper. This can be such a fundamental design element that it's considered as early as the ideation stage.
Thinking about materials from the start.
Unthink's Art of Chess exhibition invitation, for example, used woodside stock to beautifully recreate the tactile feel of a chessboard. Peter and Paul's rebrand for Jefferson Churd Architects strikingly created 3D logo models from aluminum, wood, and perspex, literally embodying their architectural expertise.
Wow.
Cartledge Levine's signage for Guardian News and Media offices used a variety of materials and color coding for stunning visual effects, subtly expressing the plurality of opinion that defines the brand. The insight, materials speak volumes, adding a tactile layer of meaning and perceived value.
Adding the final polish and flair is finishing, the polish touch, applying various finishing processes to materials, mainly print finishing, but also digital effects.
Yes. Techniques abound: precise folding, intricate die cutting, elegant foil blocking, various varnishing effects, embossing, raising the surface, debossing, depressing the surface, specialized binding, perforation, screen printing, thermography, even unique throwouts or tipping ins in publications.
Lots of fancy print terms.
Yeah. The purpose of these finishes is to attract immediate attention, make pieces truly stand out, and communicate messages more effectively by adding tactile and visual richness. It's crucial that these support the core design aims and, importantly, are budgeted for very early on in the process. These things cost money.
And a plan for the sparkle.
Research Studios' D&AD Awards invitation achieved an exquisite, understated style with black foil block on matte black stock, creating a subtle yet luxurious impression. Navy Blue's Corn Exchange gallery posters used elegant embossing and a standard layout for continuity while adding a touch of sophisticated detail. The insight, finishing, is where the design transcends the flat page, becoming a multi-sensory experience.
And in our increasingly interconnected world, media. Adapting to platforms is absolutely vital. Identifying the type of media for distribution and its specific considerations.
Yeah, the digital age has ushered in an ever-increasing range of digital media social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, blogs, mobile applications, each requiring designs to be presented differently due to their inherent interactivity and the user's control over the experience.
Designing for different screens and interactions.
Exactly. Maintaining design consistency across both traditional and new media platforms is paramount for delivering a coherent and unified brand message. Why Not Associates' animated trailer for Channel 4's Unseen Gaza demonstrated a seamless transfer of designers' core skills to new media, proving that strong design thinking is platform agnostic.
As if design works anywhere.
The insight: a great design adapts and thrives across every medium, speaking the right language for each platform.
Then we consider scale. Challenging perceptions of size. Considering physical size to produce striking solutions by deliberately challenging preconceived ideas about what's normal.
Yeah, playing with size. Thinking big means producing truly large-scale pieces for maximum visual impact, courageously overcoming mental and conceptual restrictions, and potentially crossing traditional disciplinary boundaries. Cooperativa, Mejia Acevedo's Empresas Públicas de Medellín Christmas lights display in Colombia is an astonishing example, spanning 27 kilometers with 14 million bulbs and 5.8 tons of metallic paper. Just massive.
Whoa, that's thinking big.
Conversely, thinking small involves producing work at a dramatically reduced scale to challenge perceptions and offer the unexpected, which requires an incredibly critical eye due to the limited space. Peter and Paul's business cards for Papa Landscapes and Shed Grounds Maintenance Ltd., for instance, wittily mirrored their businesses with tiny formats, a plant tag, and a miniature garden shed.
Huh, that's brilliant.
And Studio Myerscough's Kentish Town Healthcare Center used vibrant, colorful, large-scale, medical-themed graphics to fill the vast space, transforming it and providing a sense of reassurance and warmth for visitors. It shows how scale can profoundly impact user experience and emotion.
Using size to affect mood. The insight size matters, but it's how you use scale that truly creates impact and challenges expectations.
Finally, we look at series and continuity, building relationships and collectability. Considering whether a design job is a standalone piece or part of a larger series, and how it logically relates to earlier or subsequent versions.
Keeping things consistent over time.
Yeah, and building on them. Visual identities and logos need to be consistently rolled out across a vast array of items: stationery, clothing, websites, vehicles, and more. This continuity adds significant value, especially for collectible subject matter like sports memorabilia, music releases, or film franchises.
People like collecting sets.
They do. It also fosters strong, ongoing relationships between design studios and their clients, allowing them to maintain and evolve core design elements over time, building a rich brand narrative. Cartledge Levine's two-part catalog for Tate Modern's slide installation used clever tessellation of cropped images to create an integral relationship between the parts and opportunities for dynamic display. NB Studios' Mother Care print materials used charming, naive animal illustrations and a standard layout across a series for a consistent sense of playfulness and brand continuity. Peter and Paul's series of symbols for GWD Media, a technology media firm, ingeniously played on the geek theme with individual staff personalities, all while maintaining a powerful overall identity continuity across the series.
Unity with variety.
Exactly. The insight. Consistency isn't just about looking the same, it's about building a recognizable, evolving narrative that fosters loyalty and value. #, wrap up and resources.
As we wrap up this deep dive into design thinking, let's touch on the rich vocabulary, the language of design itself, how elements and styles communicate.
Yeah, this refers to how every element and style within a design communicates, subtly altering the understanding or feeling of a concept. For instance, the idea of freedom can be conveyed radically differently using a psychedelic style compared to a stark Soviet propaganda style. Same word, different feeling based on the visuals. Our source highlights various vocabularies or styles designers can draw from. Eclecticism, skillfully incorporating diverse elements from different sources. Trompe-l'oeil, literally tricking the eye into seeing something that isn't truly there.
Optical illusions again?
Abstraction, removing details to reduce something to its essential characteristics, efficient but can sometimes hinder immediate understanding. Noise, elements that serve no apparent purpose, often used for textural or conceptual effect. And irony, where the intended meaning is the direct opposite of the literal meaning, often used for humor or sharp commentary.
Different tools in the visual language kit.
Exactly. The insight. Every stylistic choice is a word in the designer's visual language, profoundly shaping the message.
Examples of these vocabularies.
Richard Wilkinson's redactive media typographic illustration, styled like an anatomical model with displaced blocks, visually communicated complex mental aspects using abstraction and maybe a bit of distortion. Frost Design's SOIA Spirit of Youth Awards posters used a distinctly youthful vocabulary, strong art direction, sharp lines, muted colors.
Capturing a vibe.
Their GSA brochure, in contrast, powerfully embodied a modernist design vocabulary with its precise grid, elegant sans serif font, and specific color palette, text often bleeding off the page, very controlled.
Different needs, different language.
Futuro's posters masterfully used a postmodern vocabulary with a Spartan aesthetic and dry wit, and even an ironic vocabulary where the messages directly contradicted the visuals, forcing a second look. Group 94's Christian Movila website, with its minimalist design and powerful black and white photography, facilitated a raw reportage vocabulary, allowing pure happiness and pain to shine through unfiltered.
Wow. All these examples vividly show how a chosen design vocabulary subtly but powerfully shapes perception and emotional response.
And as a quick but incredibly valuable overview for you, our listener, our source provides some excellent design thinking tips that you could apply, whether you're a budding designer or just observing the world around you more closely.
Ooh, practical tips.
Yeah. Actively seek exposure to contemporary styles and ideas through magazines and books. Study everyday objects for mental stimulation and compare different designs. Engage with physical swatches to truly feel the texture and quality of various materials and finishes. Make dedicated time for play, just absorbing information without specific project direction.
Let your brain wander.
Be disciplined in meticulously completing the sequential steps of the design process. Dedicate sufficient time to thorough research. Truly unleash your creativity during the ideation stage. Wisely springboard from existing designs and adapt to them, that art of appropriation.
Don't reinvent the wheel unless you have to.
Be brave enough to go left field, push limits, and resist the urge to play it safe. Disrupt your routine by trying different methods, like switching between pencil and digital tools. And continuously improve your skills, learn new techniques like watercolors, animation, or even traditional bookbinding.
Always be learning.
These tips are all about empowering tremendous, effective creativity.
So in conclusion, this deep dive has clearly shown that design thinking provides these fundamental concepts and a beautifully structured process for designers. It equips them with incredibly powerful tools to unleash tremendous creativity.
And crucially, it facilitates the efficient use of both design time and budget, ensuring that creativity is channeled towards viable, truly impactful solutions. The diverse commercial projects from contemporary studios we've discussed today really serve as a powerful source of inspiration, illustrating the vast potential of design thinking in action.
Right.
Emotica's Amore clothing brand logo, communicating multiple coherent messages, sensual, soft, comfortable, all within one elegant graphic device, is a perfect encapsulation of effective, multi-layered design thinking, packing a lot in.
So we've journeyed through the 7 iterative stages of design thinking. From the crucial act of defining the problem to the vital process of learning from the outcome. We've explored this vast array of creative tools and principles, from thinking in images and signs to understanding the profound power of proportion and color, all the way through the practicalities of prototyping and implementation.
You now have, hopefully, a comprehensive understanding of how designers transform abstract ideas into tangible, impactful solutions. It truly is a shortcut to being well-informed about the art and science behind every design you encounter. This isn't just about pretty pictures. It's about strategic, deeply thoughtful problem-solving.
And as we've explored this intricate process of design thinking, one question often lingers, a question our source encourages us to ponder. How do we truly know what is right when it comes to the ethical choices inherent in design?
The ethics, that's a big one.
What responsibility do designers have for what they create and its broader impact on society? It's a complex and vital question worth considering as you observe the designs that continuously shape our world.